Every Aldrian I've ever met felt compelled to tell me about the miracle of stone. It goes like this. Long, long ago, in the age of the beast, when the moon was still red and the sun went up once a week, a young hunter lived here, in Urkaya. No one knows his real name, but the Aldrians call him Dorius the Dreamer. The story goes this kid saw his father withering away, turning into a husk of his former self as he aged. Or maybe he got disemboweled by a beast and didn't want to die, or Aldar came down from the sky on a ball of fire to offer him immortality. Or maybe the ocean man himself visited him. They never agree on this part. Whatever the case, the boy managed to get Faroch's attention and was blessed right then and there. From head to toe, his entire body was turned into indestructible marble. Hunger, thirst, and pain all vanished, and the boy would never have to fear death again. Then there's a catch, obviously. First, all of his insides were taken in the pact, so he's mute. Being an unkillable warrior and all, he instantly became his tribe's chieftain. But he quickly realized he had no use for the food, the drink, and the women, since he's just a piece of polished rock. As time passed, he became distant, lost in thought. Eventually, after taking down a dread beast, he sat down and he pondered. And pondered and pondered and pondered. The tribesmen tried everything they could to wake him up, but he wouldn't budge. They gave up after a couple of generations. Hundreds, maybe thousands of years later, when the War of Three Kings broke out, a group of Aldrian soldiers found him there, sitting on nothing. They immediately recognized he was a beacon of spiritual energy. Well, I say that, but if his gift is half as potent as those of the god-touched, it must have felt like staring straight into the sun. They hauled him off to their city and built a temple around him. The effect of his blessing is something like the opposite of being around Red Hand. Instead of wounds refusing to heal, stuff refuses to break or even fixes itself. There's something absurd about it. The dreamer of Faroch. But the only way to wake the boy is to blast him full of the tyrant's own power, through a spirit or an imbuer, using stagnation to fight stagnation. His dreams are some kind of gate into Faroch's domain, and he sees visions of the past, the present, and the future. It makes sense. To the tyrant of eternity, time is meaningless. When the boy wakes up, once in whenever, or when they manage to wake him up, they try to fish some prophetic wisdom out of him. If he doesn't ignore them outright, he only communicates by drawing, since he obviously can't read or write. If they're desperate, their imbuers spirit walk into his dreams to get their own answers. Turning to Faroch for guidance is a bit of an unusual choice, but word is the Aldrians are not on speaking terms with Osran and Shiraya. One of the clerics told me they've turned the temple into a kind of spiritual training ground. The shamans connect their minds with the boy, just long enough for something to break in them. And at that point, it's a coin toss whether their mind expands and they turn into true imbuers, or their heads just explode. If they're really unlucky, they get a blessing of their own. The ones who survive call themselves the Sons of Dorius. If I had to guess, it's a way to make people associate them with the god-touched. Makes them sound powerful, important. In any case, poor sucker's stuck in that temple until the end of days. Maybe even longer. Even if all of Aldaria is reduced to ashes, those temple walls aren't going down. Ever.